So recently, a friend of mine was asked to be a pallbearer for someone who he had been very close to. And naturally, it was a very sobering experience. There's nothing like carrying a wooden box with a dead person inside to remind you about the reality of death. And death is a great equalizer, right? Doesn't matter who we are, whether you're just a regular guy like me or the King of England. The same fate awaits us all. And funerals, they force us, or at least they should, to cause us to think about our own mortality. And yet, to my friend's great annoyance, the reaction of the other pallbearers was the opposite. They chose instead to make light of the situation by telling each other their funniest stories of when they were the most drunk. Ecclesiastes 7:2 says, "It is better to go to a house of mourning than go to a house of feasting, for death is a destiny of everyone. The living should take this to heart." Now, obviously, Ecclesiastes 7:2. It isn't saying that we should never have fun, that we should never enjoy life, that we should just all focus upon, we should all just have a morbid fascination with death and the more sobering aspects of life. Rather, the broader context, the passage in which Ecclesiastes 7:2 is found, what it's trying to tell us is that generally, we tend to learn more, we tend to grow more from hard times, from times of suffering, times of sorrow, times of mourning, than we do during the happier, more enjoyable times in our lives. Much in the same way that we tend to learn more from our mistakes than if we had not made those mistakes at all. And so if we want to become wise, if we want to have more depth and meaning in our lives, then we must embrace those hard times rather than fondly dwell upon the times when we were the most drunk. But here's the thing. Everything about our modern culture seeks to draw us away from thinking about those things. I was recently watching a video by a Harvard professor who was arguing about the importance of boredom and how in many ways it now takes a very conscious and willful effort in our modern culture not to be bored, largely because of these dopamine injectors, right? We're all guilty of it. If we're standing in line at a grocery store, we pull this out to entertain us, even for the briefest of moments. And what he was getting at was that when we're bored, when we have no distractions, our human brains naturally want us to refocus on what's truly important, on things that we should be thinking about, but we've suppressed. And by being forced through boredom to wrestle with those very things, that is how we find meaning and purpose in our lives. And while it may seem counterintuitive, he claimed that the reason why the levels of depression and anxiety are so high in our modern culture, especially amongst the younger generations, is that since we never get bored, we never wrestle with those very things that would teach us about meaning and purpose. Something that, the book of Ecclesiastes has been saying for over 2,500 years. Hey, if you got anything out of this video, please do consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell, and dare to be wise.